Good morning. It is Monday morning live with me, Eric, and my channel here, Eric Dieter, living from the inside out. That's what I'm about is life and business from the inside out, making your life the best life you can live. I am happy to be here. I'm still waking up. I had a long weekend. Um, it was, I packed a lot of stuff into my weekend, but a lot of it included sleeping through most of Sunday because I ran all night through the woods on Saturday. And that's what I want to talk about is related to my run, which I've got this cool shirt from the 50-kilometer trail race I did. They gave me a medal as finisher. I had the honor, this is my second race I have finished DFL, which is dead freaking last. The cutoff time for this race was 10 hours, and I did it in 10 hours and 55 seconds. Oh my, excuse me. My goal when I started the race was to finish. That was what I wanted because I knew it could probably be a tough course. And I made my goal to finish. And that was, so I'm happy. I'm happy being the last one across the finish line. The trail running community is very supportive that if you are DFL, they really, you didn't quit, because there were a lot of people who started with me that quit along the way. They were behind me, but they quit. And the DFL means you are the one who didn't quit, who didn't give up. So I claim that honor. Yes, I'd love to run faster. I'd love to be, I'd love to have the speed that I had back with, 30 years ago, but I don't. I am me. And that doesn't mean I'm not working. I'm working to get faster. But I want to talk about running in part, but also about the lessons that can transfer over to regular life. This trail run started at 8:00 at night and went all night. It was 30 miles, 50 kilometers on both trails and roads. And it was in 3 loops of 10 miles. The first loop, I went out with some friends. They run a little bit faster than I normally do. And so I got about 6 miles in, talking with them, having fun. I felt good. The first loop, I was like, yeah, I'm strong. This is good. No, and not as going to be a piece of cake, but yeah, I'm strong. I'm doing good. About 6 miles in, my body said, if you keep this up, you're not going to make it. And so I told my friends, I said, hey, love talking with you guys. You're just a little bit faster than I really need to run. So head on out, head on forward. I'm going to hang back. So I was by myself, finished up the first loop, started the second loop. What I'm calling the messy middle. The messy middle is where the work begins, because it's hard. It's where the doubts start coming in. Why did I do this? What am I doing? I can't make it. I'm not going fast enough. It's too hot. I should be at home in bed. At that time, it was almost midnight. And so those thoughts just keep coming, and it doesn't matter. It's happened to me in every race I've run. In the middle of it, that's when the self-talk comes. That's where the doubts come. That's where it gets hard, where you have to push through. My friends that were just a little bit ahead of me, they said the same thing. The second loop is the hardest. The second 10 miles of the 30-mile race was the hardest. So I pushed through. I made it through that messy middle, the second 10 miles. And I got into the aid station and went out for my third loop. And I was still having the same kind of feelings. And by then my body really was tired. But as I went 2 miles into the third final loop, the feeling of tiredness, those thoughts of doubts kind of went away, and it got easier. Not that I was running the same speed I was on the first loop, but it was not that drag. It didn't feel like I was carrying sandbags on my back. And I was able to just kind of relax and enjoy. And I got into the flow of running and walking, because that's what trail running is. You don't run the entire time. And I have developed a good power hike. And so I could power hike as fast as some of the runners in front of me were running. I finished. The sun was coming up as I finished. It was amazing. I slept most of the day on Sunday because I was recovering. But I feel good. I've learned from every race that I run. I evaluate, I learn some things, what I did right, things that I need to improve. I am better prepared for my next race. I know some things that I'm going to do. And also, judging from my body, I didn't have the cramping. So a lot of times I would cramp up in the middle of the night after I ran. I haven't had any cramps at all. So I am feeling good about my performance and the race. But what I want to talk about is that messy middle that I see in racing. And I realized if I've seen it and I've found it in other parts of my life as well. And so for you who are not trail runners, who don't have the same passion I do to go out and see how crazy far distances you can run, and maybe, like, frankly, it's like, why is he talking about running? I run because running compares to the things that I'm trying to do in my life. I am trying to live my life to see how much I can do with my life. And it took me a long time to get to that passion. There were a lot of times when I got to the messy middle. I would start something and I would do something. I'm going to do this. And I got to the messy middle and I quit. I was really good at quitting for a long time in my life. But then I realized, I started getting frustrated. Like, why am I quitting all the time? And I found some limiting beliefs that I had, some subconscious some subconscious programming that kept me from reaching my goals. I'd set goals and not make it, and quit in the middle. I learned some strategies for how to set some goals that would inspire me, and also some determination to make it through the messy middle. So I'm getting some things done. I'm accomplishing some of the things that I've wanted to do for years and just couldn't because of what was going on inside of me. So running is part of that, and I'm going to continue running because that's a great place for me to work on those skills to push through the messy middle. But what I want to offer here on this space and what I do online is to help you. If you're watching this, or if you're one of my clients, or whatever, if you encounter me at all, I want to help you get from the excitement of the start and of getting an idea to do something, get through the messy middle, and to complete what you want to do and get to the point where you have success, where you reach your goal, would cross the finish line. Even if you're DFL, even if you are the last person across, the point is not to beat everyone else. The point is to do the best that you can and make your life what you want it to be, not compared to anybody else, but to your potential. That is the thing for me, that I was comparing myself to other people. I was looking outside of myself. I was getting my identity from what I had. I was getting my identity from the things that I did. And living from the inside out is that I developed my identity of who I am and who I want to be. And I use that as the power to push me forward. And that's helped me get through the messy middle. But the messy middle comes in anything you want to do. Now, if you're sitting on the couch and watching Netflix and eating Doritos or whatever, if you're content to be where you are in your life and you don't want anything more, you're never going to encounter the messy middle. I back up. I want to qualify that. You will encounter the messy middle, but you won't care because things are going fine. The messy middle comes when you want to change, when you want to do something new. It shows up in everywhere. If you decide to remodel your kitchen, you've got the excitement of planning and, I can do this and this and all the possibilities, and you put it together and make your plans and you start. And then you get into the messy middle when everything is torn up and your life is chaos and you're going, why in the heck did I ever decide to do this at all? If you make it through the messy middle and don't stop, you will end up with a kitchen that you love. We hope. There are decisions oftentimes, sometimes you say, oh, well, I don't like the colors, but you will end up with a kitchen that functions and it's better than what you had before if you make it through the messy middle. And if it's your kitchen, you have to, because you've got to eat. That's where you live. We help in the business that my wife and I have together. We help people redo their kitchens. We refinish their kitchen cabinets. And I see that process. They go through, it's an emotional thing you go through. Love the start. The middle is sometimes tension. What am I doing? Your life is in chaos. but the finished product, and you remember the finished product and you forget about the messy middle. But it happens in relationships. You meet someone new. You make, whether it's a friend, a lover, potential spouse, partner, whoever you meet someone new, and the relationship's exciting. It's fun. There's things that you enjoy discovering about the person. You enjoy being together. They make you feel good. All of that is at the beginning of the relationship. But as the relationship goes on, you get into the messy middle, and they do things that you don't approve of. They do things that you don't expect. They say things that there's this tension in the relationship, and you have to work through that. You may have to make compromises. You have to, in some cases, you have to decide, is this relationship one I want to continue? Because those questions will come up. That's what the messy middle is you question your decisions. Why did I start this? And will I be able to finish this? Will I be able to, is there a future here? And so if you quit, then you start over. And I know there's a lot of people who, their relationships are that way. They start new, they get into the messy middle. Oh, this isn't what I want. I quit. And they start over. And you probably know people who are that way. But working through that, there is a time where you get into the third phase, where you're cruising along. You still have obstacles. You still have things. There's still things that you have to work through, and that aren't fun. And once you get past the messy middle in a relationship, it's not all sunshine and roses. We're people. We'll have conflicts, but those conflicts don't have the same impact on your relationship as they do when you're on the messy middle. You're not questioning, oh, am I going to continue in this relationship? Do I still like this person enough to hang out with them, or be with them, or live with them? You get to that third part, or you get to that part past the messy middle. Yes, you have conflicts. Yes, there's difficulties, there's things, but you're not questioning, do I want to continue? You're committed. There's a sense that, yes, I've made the right decision. I'm cruising. We're gonna finish, or we're gonna go as far as this relationship can go together. And I'm not gonna quit. Same thing happens if you decide you want to start a business, or if you do something on Etsy, write a book, write a screenplay, make a movie, whatever. If you decide you want to create something, start something new, you have the excitement of the beginning, you have the excitement at the first, and then you have the messy middle. And the messy middle is where things get hard, where you have to work through all of the things, and you still have that toward the final end of it as well. But the messy middle is where you can derail what you think you want to do, or what you're trying to do. The messy middle is where the real work begins, or where the real work is, to dig in and say, and make the evaluation. Do I keep going? There's two things: quit while you're ahead, or quit. Don't beat your head against the wall. Those kinds of things, or the phrase, quitters never win, winners never quit. Both of those things, you have to evaluate. Which situation is it? Is this something that is what you want to do? Is your desire enough to get you through the messy middle to where you want to go? And sometimes, if you're in the messy middle and you look at where you thought you were going and where you're actually going to end up, sometimes it's right to look at the final outcome and say, no, it's not worth it. What I thought I wanted, I really didn't want. It's time to pull the plug and get out of here. But what I have found in my life, I was too quick to pull the plug and bail, and instead of working my way through the messy middle to get to where I said I wanted to be. So now I've learned how to set some goals that I committed to say, yes, I am going to do that. Whatever happens in the messy middle, I'm going to work through it. I'll make myself do it. I'll do whatever needs to be done to work through that part, because I know it's going to be there. I know that no matter what I start, there's always going to be that messy middle that I have to work through. What I do as a coach, what I'm doing here on YouTube, what I'm doing online, is helping you both start, set the goals, and get through that messy middle so where you can get to the place where you're cruising. You're still having things to work through, but once you get through the messy middle, you really feel like you're cruising. And that's what I want to help you do is when you're wherever you're at, whether you're at the start, making goals, casting vision, dreaming dreams of what you want to do, I can help you with that in a way that will help you get through the messy middle. If you've started something, you're in the messy middle. That's what I'm about too. I want to encourage you to keep going, keep going. Thank you for watching this. If you're watching this on a replay, message me down below if you like what you're hearing. If you're new here, first time you've seen this, I'm Eric. I'm a life coach, an author, an entrepreneur, small business owner, and I am living my life from the inside out. That's what I'm about, is living from the inside out, and I want to help you do the same thing. Click subscribe. You won't miss out on anything new that way. Hit the bell notification. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.